Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We're doing oil paint on canvas and this is just a little speed paint of my pet family. It was a painting I'd said I'd do forever ago for my dad and I'm just doing it now, so let's get into it. This painting is based off the Beatles album cover where they walk on the crosswalk. It's very iconic. I feel like almost everyone is aware of it at this point, and if not, I don't know how. But anyway, they're my 3 pets. I actually have more than that, but these are the ones that go outside and go on walks. And yes, you do see a cat there, and yes, that may be odd. But my cat Blackie goes out on a walk with us every time we go out, even with the dogs, and we get stopped in the neighborhood all the time, and people are like, how you train your cat to do that? She just does it. So I was very happy to put her in this painting. And then we have Sushi, who is a little pug mix with terrier. He's a mutt looking thing. I love him. I've had him since I was a freshman in high school. And then there's Socks, and she's a blue heeler. And she's my service dog in training. And that's why she's wearing her vest. And I don't know, I didn't paint myself in it. Sorry to disappoint. But it's my father and the animals following him. But my service dog is without me in this painting, and that's probably actually a little odd. But she's just a year now. I've had her for a little over a year now, and she's almost done with training, and she's fantastic. And she can retrieve stuff now, so that's very cool. I could hype her up endlessly. She is amazing. Also, I'm aware my palette looks very, very dirty. It looked dirty from the beginning because it is dirty. I wanted to see if I could cake as many layers of oil paint on this and do a satisfying peel. That has obviously not worked out for me, and it honestly makes painting much harder, and I'm tempted to just flip over the palette and start over again and just use the other side. Because there's no way I'm cleaning all the paint caked on this. And, we're just stuck with it. It's life. So that's why it looks like that. And it's a mess. And I regret it. But it's too late now, so we're living with it. I did wash the canvas before with old leftover oil. The the dirty oil leftover. What's it called? I feel like I forget every time. That's me pulling it out for you. Linseed oil. But that's what you use to wash oil paint brushes so they stay clean for when you're switching colors. And it gets really dirty and it's really hard to dispose of because it's so flammable and bad for the earth. Oil painting is really not sustainable for the earth, but it is a medium that I partake in, and So instead of polluting the earth with dirty oil, why can I not speak? Dirty. Okay, there. Dirty oil. I just use the leftover and wash the canvas so it's not a flat white color because it's better to have that back toning, because I don't know why it's better to have toning. I just learned it in art school and now I can't even remember, but it's something I do. But I didn't wash it enough because it was more so gray than it was white, and usually you should wash it with a color. And I can't even remember why you should do that, but you should. I learned it in art school. Also, another thing I did was never use black, because I learned that in art school. So, you never use black. But you're like, how are you painting that cat black then? It's actually dark green and dark blue. I think specifically cerulean blue and vermilion green. And it makes almost a black color. And sorry if my light flickers on while this speed paint's going on, because my animals cannot keep themselves from under my desk and turning off the lights on and on, because it's their favorite hobby is to tick me off, I think. So the one thing that I'm doing that you probably shouldn't be doing is painting on a flat surface, because it messes up the proportions. And you should obviously paint on an easel better so you can have that better straight up, because that's what you're going to look at the final product. I paint flat just because you can see it better when I am doing a speed paint like this, but I definitely do not recommend it. I actually take all my paintings after the speed paint and getting like the flat tonal colors, and then put them on the easel and just don't show you guys that part because I can't film it. So that's why I paint flat on my desk, just so I can set up my tripod easier that way. Well, it's not even a tripod, it's more of a thing that clips onto my bookshelf and then dangles precariously my phone above the painting. And I actually did drop my phone on the painting once and scream because I got oil paint on my phone and it smudged the painting. And I had to go back in and fix that. But I am nice and cut that out for you, because listening to my scream, I don't know, is that aesthetic for you. It certainly isn't for everyone around me. I really liked my sushi painting. He's the little dog, as I talked about before. And I really liked how you could see his colors and you could tell it was him before I even did the details. Because that color, if you see my dog in real life, you're like, oh my god, that's him! Just the colors. Also, one thing that took me off about this speed painting is that you could see my forehead and it made it look giant just from the angle. But it's not, I swear. And also, I grind my jaw a lot while I'm painting. I grind my jaw all the time. Who am I kidding? I don't know how to stop. I don't even realize I'm doing it. And yeah, focus on not doing that. That's a reminder for you guys. Unlock your jaw. Take a deep breath. Whatever you're doing. If you're just watching my video for fun, if you're painting while I paint, relax your jaw. Yeah, because I told you to. I've been told, actually, that I have a weird way of painting as well, even when I'm flat, or, well, the canvas is flat, or when it's on the easel, because I use so much paint. I kind of think about painting almost as if I'm frosting a cake, and I think that's why oil is my favorite, because I love laying on thick sheets of it and making the painting textured. I just love the character it gives the painting, like it's coming to life. That's why one of my favorite pieces I've done is a recreation of Kandinsky's Markets on the Arbor? I don't know how to say it. But it's of the markets where he grew up. And it's in a very unique color. And the buildings just seem very odd shaped as well as in color. And I really liked the idea of that painting and just making it almost 3D textured, since it was already such an odd color. I loved the coloring of it, so I just made it 3D. Made it come out of the thing, and I haven't been able to stop doing that since. You'll see more what I mean in a second when I do the crosswalk, as I lay on thick coats with a palette knife, because that is my preferred method. I actually prefer using palette knives to brushes until I have to get in and do the details of a face or the dog's face or little details, whatever. You get my drift. It's actually, I feel odd that I prefer doing realism with like pens, where you don't have much control over a pen because you can't go back and fix it, unlike oils where you can wet the brush with linseed oil and go back over old mistakes, I prefer to do these thick sort of popping out paintings. And with pens, I like to do realism portraits, even though that's an odd thing. I don't know. I like using mediums for what they're not made for. It's fun. I like to throw off the world, and maybe that's why I go by Mandy Weirdmore. Actually, that's not why, but that's a story for another day. I did really hate doing this detail. I was like, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I can just not do it and just be a regular sweatshirt. But I was very determined to make the Boston Bruins logo because my dad is always wearing a Bruins logo jersey. Actually, not jersey, but like t-shirts and sweatshirts. And his bedding is even Bruins. It's his obsession. And that detailing was very hard to do with oils because I go on so thick. It's hard for me to actually go back and do details because I don't use that much linseed oil. I just like a thick paint. I messed up the face of Sushi here, which made me really mad because it was like so perfect before, and then I had to go and mess it up because the shape was perfect, but I hadn't gone in with the face details and I had to go mess it up. But it looks good in the end, so don't worry. He actually doesn't have a flat face, which is odd because he's a pug, but he's also a terrier mix, so he has more of a snout, even though it is flatter than the average terrier snout, but he still has a snout, which I'm actually happy for because pugs usually have a lot of breathing issues, and he doesn't. Though he does have those iconic pug allergies, and he needs his Benadryl sometimes. He looks just like me. Actually, not looks like me, he's just like me because of my terrible allergies. But yeah, you know that meme? Stormy, you look like mommy. Yeah, that's me and Sushi. We're two alike in our allergies and our love for Dunkin' Donuts. I spent a while going in, trying to make his face perfect. Sox's face was already pretty good. And here's what I was talking about, how I lay on thick. This is the palette knife, and I use thick levels of white oil paint and just kind of frost it on, like frosting. And, when I say it like that, it kind of makes me want to eat oil paint. Don't do that. Don't eat oil paint, though, because it's heavily poisonous. And sometimes I wonder if artists are so mentally ill because of how poisonous our materials are a lot of the time. Like, the greatest iconic artist of the past often had extreme mental illnesses, like Van Gogh. And he unfortunately passed away after killing himself, which actually he might not have. I could go into this whole thing. He might not have done it because he might have been covering for another that he didn't want to get in trouble for that. I should just do a video essay on Van Gogh because I know so much about Van Gogh because I flipping love him. And anyway, he might have not done it. But back to what I was saying is that the mediums are so poisonous that I wonder if that has to do with how we feel all the time as artists. And I really like the vantage point. Just changing topics. Let's just change topics. The vantage point, because it's what's it called when they cross the parallel lines where they never meet, and I really like that. The vantage point. It was very good as a photo. It follows the rules of thirds, is what I'm trying to say. And it leads up to the vantage point in a triangle shape, because the best paintings as well as photos often follow the vantage point of your eyes. Either follow the painting in a triangle, a circle, or a square. And you want your viewer to view those things to make the painting interesting. What's terrible is I know most of like art terms and all of that, but I just can't explain them. Like, I know the rules and I can just say them, but I make it a mess and then it doesn't make sense as I mingle them all together. But I know them, okay? I know the art rules. I know them. I just can't repeat them because my brain, it just like goes back and forth, back and forth. And this video is just me rambling yet again, but you guys seem to like last video a lot, so that's good because I rambled almost that entire video, so. And we're almost done here, but I did go onto the easel after I filmed the last speed paint of this, so I will show you what the final product looks like after it went on the easel for a little while. But I did spend quite a few minutes, no, a minute longer than that on the face of my dad here. So let's get into the final product. And the shine is kind of bad on this, okay? But it's because it's still drying, so chill. So that's why I did like these weird angles so you could see. I really liked how it turned out with the pets. The face, not so much, but as artists, we need to constantly do things to improve, and this is just another one of them. It might not be my favorite piece, but you gotta keep doing stuff to improve, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, everyone, stay weird. Bye.